Alex from Voice of Reason has recently posted a response to the allegations. Let's talk about it. Ahoy everyone. I'm not as chipper or lively as I usually am for this video because I don't think it's warranted. Alex from Voice of Reason has posted a video response to all of the allegations and sort of like a follow-up. Everything that's been put forward about him, the things that he's been caught up in. I was planning to make a video kind of on this topic anyway, but this has sort of landed in quite a opportune time to coincide with that. They're talking about forgiveness. And I've watched Alex's video, and it makes me think as to when these first came out, all these allegations on social media, how they started to spread and started to spread it really quickly. And then people took down Alex from like Catholic Answers and Catholic speakers' websites and things like that. It makes me think of what Christ says about forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't optional. I'll say that again. Forgiveness is not optional. When we see people like Alex, who have had all these things put out about them online, and he admits that some of those things were true, that they did happen, then other things weren't true. Essentially what that has done, it has kind of, in a way, violated the sanctity and confidentiality of confession. Yes, he's a public figure. Yes, he has a YouTube channel. Yes, he has all these things that have come out. And the people who have made up the egregiously horrible things about him should have things reciprocated. Alex is full within his right to take them to court. They have broken the law by making these things up about him. Things that, if they were true, would have been incredibly illegal. How many times did we see on social media people who claim to be Orthodox and slandering him and calling him a groper, or calling him scum? Oh, he had this coming. You don't get to make those decisions. You don't get to make those judgment calls about people. You don't get to do that. And it makes me angry, actually. And I'm getting myself a bit worked up now, because I am seeing people jump the gun and making judgments before all due diligence was done, before all of the comments were addressed, all of the investigations were done. How dare you? If this was you in this situation and people were doing that to you, how would you feel? If you had an audience the size of Alex's from Voice of Reason, you had his size audience, and then all of a sudden people were making stuff up about you and people were saying those things about you without things being substantiated or going through investigation processes, how would you feel? Would you want the same done to you? So why is it okay to do it to him? On the internet, we have this double standard. Oh yeah, we can call people out, we can point fingers here, point fingers there. But when it's us, it's a different story. Christ calls us to love everyone unconditionally and to forgive. And sometimes that's really hard to do. But our Lord calls us to do these things every single day, as hard as it is. Now, am I saying that someone who is in a abusive relationship with their parents, for instance, who is suffering day after day, should constantly forgive their parents and just put up with the abuse? No. No matter how many times it happens, and as hard as it is, if you do go through these things, if you go through horrible slander or abuse or what have you, we are called to forgive, even though it is incredibly hard. That doesn't mean we have to put up with things. So someone who is in an abusive relationship should leave that relationship and protect themselves, but also should forgive their attacker. Forgiveness is what it means to be Christian. It's part of the essence of our existence, because we are forgiven in turn by our Creator. Think about it. We go on and on about, making judgment calls and, pointing things out about people, pointing out people's flaws. When every single day we turn to God and ask for forgiveness and pour our hearts out to Him, some of us in this world, maybe potentially you who's watching this video, may have done some incredibly heinous, horrible, and disgusting things that you never want to come to light. But all of us must forgive. We must. Because otherwise, who are we? Who are we to exercise judgment on someone? We are taking the place of God. And we never do that. Never. Alex, if you're watching this video, which you probably won't, and that's fine. I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of this. And I'm so sorry that all of your dirty laundry got aired out in public. No one should have to go through that. You strike me as a very intelligent and very kind man who's fallen into sin, like everyone. It's not on me to judge you. It's not on me to point a finger and to blame someone. That's why I purposely didn't say anything when all this kind of stuff came out. Because the right thing to do is to let investigations and analysis take place and for the truth to come out. Alex, I want you to know that there are people out there who do care about you, who don't pass judgment, who wait until things run their course before we make some assessments or assumptions or etc. about what we can and can't do or interact with whoever. I'd like to think I'm one of those people. I hope I'm one of those people. I want you to know that you are loved. People do love you. People do care for you. People do appreciate you, and sure, you may have had an impact into your audience. But keep your focus on Christ. Keep your focus on God. And keep pursuing Him. I don't really want to speak anything more into this because what's my opinion in all this? what is my opinion? It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm just sort of airing and venting kind of to a camera about how I feel about all this and the response and how people have reacted online. Just next time when someone goes through something like this or things come out, how would you feel if you went to confession and your priest put up exactly what you said and confessed on like a notice board for everyone to see? That's kind of exactly what's happened. Someone has fallen into sin, someone has fallen into shame and done things, and I mean, my words can't do justice to how Alex has, described everything and gone through everything. We cannot judge people. We cannot presume things about people. We cannot be unforgiving. Because, like I said, forgiveness is not optional. I'm sorry to say, but it's true. It's not optional. We must forgive. Now, does that mean that someone who has fallen into horrible debauchery and illegal things and stuff like that, if it comes out about the next big creator, or if X, Y, and Z, does that mean that person gets to go on making that kind of stuff? No. Now, I'm not saying that Alex should stop making the content. That's a judgment call for him to make, but there are obviously certain levels of things and crimes and things like that that warrant people to not have a public voice anymore and not to speak for the church and to enter into a state of submission. This whole video has sort of been more of a ramble. I've been more of a rant, a little bit incoherent. I hope that my message has come across, that we need to forgive, that we can't jump to these judgment calls, because if the boot was on the other foot, how would you feel? Essentially, that's what I kind of want to communicate. So I'll leave it there, so I don't make anything 10 times worse. But thank you very much for watching. God bless you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next video. Adios.